It is DCAMS, the DC animated movie show, a YouTube series and podcast for the prestigious, ongoing catalog of DC animated movies. I am your host, Benjamin David. Our show is brought to you by our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. That's youtube.com/above and Batman Beyond. What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? So welcome back to the Dome. This will be our final episode covering DC Fandome, with our first episode live from the Dome on YouTube for DC League of Super Pets. That didn't go as well as planned, but that's the point of going live, I guess. Then last week we had to review Injustice since that movie just dropped on the 19th. So here we are today talking 2022's DC animated movie slate. And that was announced at DC Fandome. Since we are on YouTube, please let us know in chat what you guys think of the 2022 DCAM slate from Fandome in general, or any other questions and comments on DC animated movies. If you're new here to the channel, please consider subscribing on YouTube. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new content. Click that like button if you like it. And for the podcast listeners, please subscribe to the pod. Just like the vid series, we are DC Animated Movie Show. You can find the podcast on your favorite podcast app. Please be sure to write us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It takes just a minute or two, but that minute goes a really long way in helping our show be found by awesome listeners like you on iTunes. And to prove how appreciative we are of your reviews, guys, we now have a giveaway for this year, limited edition, as Chris D'Elia says, limited edition. Such a good joke, of Justice Society World War II. So this is the exclusive Barry Allen Flash figure. Only 8,000 of these made because, once again, limited edition. 47 out of 8,000. Best Buy exclusive, if you like exclusives. 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital code. So you get your awesome exclusive figure. Add that to your toy collection. Add the Blu-ray to your movie collection. And one of my favorite things, the digital code to your Movies Anywhere collection or whatever your digital jam is. All you have to do to enter to win Barry Allen Flash here is to write us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Then just follow us on Instagram at DC Animated Movie Show. That's at DC Animated Movie Show for details on how you can win this limited edition JS World War II Blu-ray and Flash figure. All right, guys, so back to the show here. Again, today we are covering the 2022 DC Animated Movie slate announced at DC Fandome. A lot more DCAMS coverage coming here to the channel and the pod for trailers and behind the scenes from Fandome as well. There's the Catwoman Hunted trailer, which I'll react to live here on YouTube. That is coming. Aquaman King of Atlantis, still to cover, for better or worse. The new Fandome Injustice stuff we got, Young Justice, Phantoms, coverage, and more. But again, today is our last official Fandome episode, since it was nearly 2 weeks ago at this point. Awesome event, though. And I was really happy with Fandome overall. I've talked about it on numerous of our podcasts. I thought Fandome was a home run. Subscribe to our other pods here in the channel. We have DC Collecticast, talking action figures and collectibles from the DC universe. And then we have our flagship show, Above and Batman Beyond. DC Collecticast is where you could find our full TV and movie recap from the Dome, as well as our bonus episode breaking down the Flash teaser and the Batman trailer. And then on Above and Batman Beyond, check out my live reaction to the Batman trailer on the day of the Dome. Some giddy schoolgirl reactions from Benjamin seeing that trailer, which surprised me. I like that movie. I like that trailer way more than I expected, so that was awesome. Follow us on Instagram. We are once again at DC Animated Movie Show, and follow the YouTube channel as well. We are at Batman Beyond Media. All right, all you animated fans of the DCU, let's talk 2022 movie slates and take our final 2021 journey into the Dome. All right, guys, so we have 2 articles that we're going to look at today. We have one from IGN, which kind of just, of course, here on DCAMS, in IGN we trust. But yeah, so that just lists it in a short way, so we're just going to go through that real quick. And that's the article that you can see here on the live screen if you're watching us on YouTube. And then after that, we have the actual press release. So let's jump into it. So while I get this going, yeah, again... Injustice review was last week. I'm not going to get into that right now because why get into negativity if you don't have to? But before that, let's get back to Fandome here. DC League of Super Pets. While I did make a joke before that was a bit disappointing, if you've seen whatever they presented at Fandome, whatever you want to call it, you can see why I was a bit disappointed. But it's still at least Fandome overall, like I said, I was super happy with it. I thought they got even better than they were last year with it. I do wish there were some DC Comics there. I was one of my biggest criticisms that I said on DC Collecticast on our TV and movie recap. Like, where the hell was DC Comics at DC Fandome? It's like, this is the institution that built the Dome. What is going on here? But yeah, no, they're getting better at it. It's only their second year for something that is that new. That was another surprise to me, like how well they did for only being so new. So I was really impressed with everything. You could tell that they stepped up, not just sending everybody those circle green screens, via Amazon. They really put time into shooting it. Production quality was really good. I was just impressed overall. So again, this is an article from IGN. If you were in chat, let us know what you guys thought of Fandome overall. Once again, DC animated movies in general, or the upcoming 2022 slate. So, DC announces 4 new animated films at DC Fandome 2021. Alongside the upcoming Catwoman Hunted coming out February 8th, 2022, DC will continue its animated run into the next year with 4 original films. Starting in spring 2022, and just real quick, before I continue with this, it's these 4 movies that was the big news of Fandome. We do keep in mind how DC League of Super Pets once again coming out next year, but that is coming in 2022, but that is theatrical. So that's what is kind of news about this. If you're wondering, like, well, what about DC League of Super Pets? What is exactly news about this? It's these 4 movies. And yes, we got wind of some of them before. We got press releases for, again, Catwoman Hunted, but this is what's new. So again, in addition to Catwoman Hunted coming out February 8th, 2022, we have, starting in spring, DC will release a comedic crossover movie titled Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls, which will unite Teen Titans with women from the DC universe. Teen Titans Go, I'm sure you're familiar with that. Where's the Teen Titans Go to the movies? Not going to take too long talking about this because, I don't know, Teen Titans Go is not really my jam. And I'm not a, 10 to 12 to 14-year-old girl either. So not to say you can't be into DC Superhero Girls. What's cool about DC Superhero Girls is that it's no longer like the 4 to 6 to 8 crowd. It's more in the Teen Titans Go age group, and also has a similar tone and comedy when they revamped it in 2018. In fact, we had Kat Hudson, who was a character designer in DC Superhero Girls. That's kind of how I know a decent amount about this, probably more than I normally would have. But we had Kat Hudson on Above and Batman Beyond, our other Beyond podcast, and she did these awesome character designs for Batman Beyond. Saw her on Instagram, hit her up, had her on the show. And at the time, she's like, I've been working on the Warner's lot. And I'm like, what? Tell us what you're doing. So she was working once again on the revamp, the kind of reboot of DC Superhero Girls. So now in tone, it's going to match Teen Titans Go much better. I got to say, though, I like the Teen Titans Go to the movies. I rewatched it for something I had to write. I liked it better than I ever would have expected on the rewatch, but I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to rewatch it. It's not a thing I would go back to a lot. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes. I've given the show a chance. It is not for me. My beef is that, and then we'll talk about this with some other movies coming up in a similar vein of genres, like, why lean 110% into just comedy? It's still heroes and heroics. This was my problem with DC League of Super Pets, which again, not going to take too much time, either today or whatever later on in the podcast, just because I already covered it on that last episode. But that's my one beef with that, is like, you're leaning so deep into the comedy. These are superheroes. DC League of Super Pets would have been good to see more than just, Crypto flying around, some more superhero heroics. In Teen Titans Go, it's like so much comedy. But I got to say, DC Superhero Girls is something that is, in my opinion, a little more watchable. They have that kind of adult tone. Like, if you have a kid, you can tolerate sitting down at Saturday. I have Halloween in the brain. Saturday morning cartoons and like tolerate it. So, good for that. And it's also obviously the most obvious thing, good for younger girls to have their own show. So cool for them. And to be teamed up with a popular team like, Teen Titans Go, since they are popular, it's good to kind of give a girl-oriented show that kind of exposure. So again, we have Catwoman Hunted. Let's go down the list, actually. I'm like, yeah, we'll go down the list shortly, and then I'll talk. No, Benjamin can't help himself. Let's go down the list first, and then we'll skim through these again. So we have Catwoman Hunted. We have Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls. We then have Green Lantern, Beware My Power. That's coming in summer 2022. And then in the fall, we have the first ever fully CG animated movie, Battle of the Super Sons. Cool. So now let's go back to individual. Green Lantern, also unfortunately not my jam. Probably more my jam than Teen Titans Go or DC Superhero Girls, but I don't know. And I don't know why either. Like, I love DC. love space, love sci-fi, Batman Beyond. It's the marriage thereof, a beautiful marriage thereof. And I don't know why. It's just the Lanterns don't do it for me so much. But I did like the First Flight movie. I liked the anthology movie. Maybe that is the same thing. Again, I don't know. Of course, I've seen all the DC animated movies. I have the show here. But look, I'm still excited nonetheless. And we're actually going to get into a detail about this movie that is kind of exciting. That will excite me, Benjamin, a little more. But yeah, if you're a Lantern fan, Green Lantern, Beware My Power, coming in the summer. Fall 2022, again, first ever fully CG animated movie, Battle of the Super Sons. Now, what's weird is that, I guess, if this comes in the fall, that's technically wrong. But it is the first fully CG direct to DVD because, again, or direct to Blu-ray, because, again, we're getting DC League of Super Pets in May 2022, and that's CG. So had to push my glasses up and correct you on that. You're technically wrong because earlier in the year, yeah. I don't know. CG, I'm a little old for it. I talked about this numerous times that I think it's good for the younger generation. I was a middle school teacher 5 to 6 years ago. At that time, the kids were going, that to me, 2D looks like basically how we react to black and white. Maybe not that extreme of a distinction, but like to them, it's just like, CG, 3D for them. These kids grew up on Minions, on Pixar, right? Whereas we grew up, my generation, I was born in 85, kind of that Renaissance golden age of late 80s, early 90s, Batman the Animated Series, Little Mermaid, all that stuff. That is more Benjamin's jam. So I can't say that, God, they're going 3 for 3 here. Not so excited about next year's slate, as you can tell. No, I am. I think Catwoman Hunted has me pumped, but oh my God. I guess kind of not, because that's going to be an anime. But I still haven't seen the trailer. So this is where you're going to witness Benjamin's brain ping pong back and forth. And what's good about podcasting. Maybe I will be, because there's elements of that I'm going to get into even today that excite me for Catwoman Hunted. But anime style and CG, but I haven't seen it. So if it's a good DC movie, I'll take it. I don't mind. I did come in at the end of, or the beginning of Pixar. Like Toy Story came out when I was 11 or 12. So I don't hate on, Pixar or any of that. It's just not my generation. But Super Sons, back to the property itself, to DC, if it's a good DC movie, I am in. Like, dude, Super Sons, I don't know about this battle part. I don't know what all the heroes have to fight nowadays, but it's been going on for like 8 years at this point in comics and movies. But yeah, Super Sons is dope. It's Damian Wayne. I believe it's Jonathan Kent. You got Superboy. You have Robin. And yeah, I think Tomasi wrote it 5-6 years ago as well, in that range. I read a couple of the issues. I thought it was awesome. So, the character of Damian has really evolved, from movies to comics and stuff. A character that was notoriously just notorious, and no one really liked him for quite a while. I think they've really turned that character around, and I think properties like League of the Super Sons, League of the Super Sons, mixing them all up, they're melding together. The Super Sons is a good property to kind of showcase the cooler side of Damian Wayne. And in the winter, a complete edition of Batman The Long Halloween will be released in 4K. That means that both parts 1 and 2 are going to be released in the press release, which has a little more details, which, again, we're going to get into right after this. It talks about, I'm pretty sure that it's one movie, like, edited together. I didn't know that. I thought they were releasing it. I thought they were dropping it with the two covers, Joker to Two-Face, meeting in the middle and kind of forming the one face. Maybe that still is how the box is going to be, but and maybe we'll get to that in the press release. There will also be, finally, a new Constantine short. Love my DC Showcase shorts. So there'll be a new Constantine short premiering early in 2022 with Matt Ryan, who has played the live-action version of the character in various DC shows, is also our Constantine throughout the DCAMU, throughout the DC animated movie universe. Constantine City of Demons, of course, Justice League Dark, then the finale to all those movies, the 15 movie finale. Crazy they did that. The endgame level finale that is Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which is Constantine's movie. So yeah, Matt Ryan is animated Constantine. So that'll be cool. He's coming back for the short. I also believe that the Constantine short kicks off a series of shorts, which I'm sure we'll hit in the press release. So that's pretty cool to kind of have connected shorts. We've been getting like anthology style shorts, meaning that every time there's a new DCAM feature, DC animated movie feature, in the special features you get a short, a DC Showcase animated short, but they're anthology. They're not connected, not same universe, whatever. So it's cool that Constantine's going to kick off what I believe, once again, is a series that are probably going to be connected. So all in all, DC will have 5 animated films, and the Hellblazer short, that's Constantine if you're not familiar, and the Hellblazer short premiering in 2022 to bolster its slate of superhero content. It's pretty dope. Pretty excited. All right, let's check in with Chat Patty Chat, and then we'll jump over to the press release. Benjamin needs to hydrate. All right, nobody's in chat. No worries. All right, guys, so once again, we're going to get a little more detailed with this DC animated movie slate for 2022. Let's do it. So Elizabeth Gillies leads a stellar cast in Catwoman Hunted. I have to give it to this movie. It does have a stellar cast. Heading to 4K, Ultra HD, and Blu-ray in 2022. Now, I know, again, we're here to talk about the 2022 slate, but this was the same press release. Catwoman Hunted is kind of the star of this press release. Most of the information is about her. Because that's the next movie coming out. It's the movie that is closest to now. So most of the information is on that. So here's the image, the official press release image. We talked about this. We had a video a couple months back when they first dropped the press release for Catwoman Hunted. So this is from the press release. Everyone's favorite felonious feline takes action, adventure, and theft to new heights. And in an entrancing anime style, womp womp. Sorry, guys. Personally not a fan once again, but if you are an anime person, this is your jammy jam. Adventure and theft to new heights, and in an entrancing anime style, Catwoman Hunted, an all-new DC animated movie. Produced by Warner Brothers Animation, DC, of course, it's a feature 4K Ultra HD combo pack, $29.99. What's that about? Let's not get into those details, but that seems like, because that's for the 4K. Blu-ray $24.99. What? $25. Normally they're $21, $22. Anyway, these are details. This is Benjamin getting nerdy about pricing. Catwoman Hunted kicks off an impressive slate of DC-centric animated films coming in 2022. So this is more about... so this is about the slate, and then we'll get back to Catwoman Hunted. So Catwoman Hunted kicks off an impressive slate of DC-centric animated films coming in 2022 from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. Following Catwoman Hunted, the 2022 releases include 2 new entries to the popular DC Universe movies and DC animated movie canons. So this is what I was excited. This is what I was saying was exciting about Green Lantern, Beware My Power, even though Benjamin, not a big Lantern guy, nor is he a big CGI guy for Battle of the Super Sons, but these are in canon. So, again, for 2022, 2 new entries to the popular DC Universe movies and DC animated movies canon. So, Green Lantern, Beware My Power, and Battle of the Super Sons, as well as a film for younger fans, Teen Titans Go, and DC Superhero Girls, Mayhem in the Multiverse. I forgot that is the subtitle to what is already one of the longest titles in DC animated movie history. Teen Titans Go, and DC Superhero Girls, Mayhem in the Multiverse. The year will also see the presentation of DC Showcase Constantine House of Mystery. So the latest compilation, I'm trying to just double check what is in canon, what's not. The latest compilation of animated shorts anchored by a story involving the Hellblazer himself and the that was a stupid question. Let me pause myself here. Green Lantern, Beware My Power, and Battle of Super Sons are what are going to probably be in canon here. Because Catwoman Hunted, they would have already announced that that's part of canon. What confuses me here, though, is our current canon, much different from Karen. Poor people that were just born with the name Karen nowadays. You had no choice in the matter. What's weird is that the new DCAMS, some people are calling it DC Rebirth. By the way, quick correction. I was like, a lot of people are saying there's a Rebirth movie coming out. What those people were talking about, I wasn't totally wrong. But I did say I'm not positive about this, but it's something that I'm hearing a lot. They're calling the new canon, it seems, DC Rebirth. Let me know in comments if I'm right or wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Because the last DCAM, the last DC animated movie universe, was based on the New 52, so it's logical because Rebirth followed New 52 in the comics, it would be logical to call this new, what I call the new DCAMU, this new DC animated movie universe, they call it Rebirth. So it makes sense. But what confuses me is that Battle of the Super Sons is in CG, they said, and the new DCAMU is in that thick Archer style kind of JS World War II or movie, our giveaway. Don't forget about our giveaway. 5-star review on Apple Podcast. But yeah, I don't obviously we haven't seen any press images for Green Lantern Before My Power, so that easily could be in the, again, Archer style, animation style of the new DCAMU, the Rebirth style. But Battle of the Super Sons, I don't understand how CG is fitting into that. So let me know what you guys think. And if you also think that different animation styles altogether, literally different animation production, should be in the same universe, let us know. I also love, oh my God, another multiverse. Teen Titans Go and DC Superheroes, mayhem in the multiverse. Because they can't just meet. They have to meet in the multiverse. Because, God, I guess it makes sense. And they probably, both these shows now are so, again, this like meta. Teen Titans Go is so self-aware. And it's reverent to DC. It's reverent. So, got to give it that. So again, back to the showcase shorts. Benjamin loves these. This year, we'll also see a presentation of DC Showcase Constantine House of Mystery, the latest compilation. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Compilation of animated shorts anchored by a story involving the Hellblazer himself, that is Constantine, and the highly anticipated 4K Ultra HD release of Batman The Long Halloween Deluxe Edition. So here's the details on that, which ramps up the R-rated action across both halves of the acclaimed film, now melded together. They mind melded it. Maybe I did steal that word earlier from Spock himself. Now melded together as one dynamic thriller. So yeah, I'm guessing it's like one run. They just put both the movies together. If both of them, yeah, so that'll be like a 3-hour cut, I guess. Interesting. I think they're both really distinct in the fact that it's Two-Face. I'm going to get a little philosophically nerdy here once again, but I don't really necessarily philosophically agree in both theme of the movie itself and how distinct the movies are, because the themes are so distinct, deliberately written as such, which I heard many interviews from Tim Sheridan. It's like, man, I don't know if they deserve to be... Not deserve, you know what I'm saying. That's my opinion. That's Benjamin's 2 cents. In the all-new original Catwoman Hunted, Catwoman's attempt to steal a priceless jewel puts her squarely... So this is... we're going to get some plot here about Catwoman Hunted. Again, in an anime style, which... but I'll get to that in a second. In the all-new original Catwoman Hunted, Catwoman's attempt to steal a priceless jewel puts her squarely in the crosshairs of both a powerful consortium of villains and the ever-resourceful Interpol. Not to mention Batwoman. I'm excited to see that. It might just be enough to contain her or not. That's pretty cool. I mean, look, she's a crime character, right? She's a thief. She's a high-level thief, but she's a criminal. Whether she's an anti-hero, villain, however they play her in the comics, at her core, she's a thief. So she's in the world of crime. Makes total sense to give her this kind of like John Wick backdrop of her just having a run through Gotham, it seems, with, this one recent heist really got her into some shit. And now she's got to deal with a bunch of Batman villains, who we'll get to in a second, and then Interpol, which is a really good idea. It's like when Batman has to run from the cops, not only does he have villains on his back, he has the police. But Catwoman obviously would have way worse people on her ass. And Interpol is a lot harder to deal with than GCPD. So, I mean, Interpol is the, FBI of the world. So that's and then to have this kind of buddy cop thing with Batwoman. Oh, before we do that, while we're on Catwoman Hunted, for the video watchers, check this out. We got the Catwoman Hunted 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital cover here. The whip is dope. I am not a big anime fan, like I said, but we have Black Mask, of course, Catwoman, and then Batwoman on this awesome Bat Cycle. It has like the wheels with no spokes. I don't know what you call. I don't know a lot about motorcycles, but it's like totally hollow, the wheel itself. So you see right through it. We saw that in 2009. Star Trek, we also saw that a year later. Batman Under the Red Hood, one of the best DCAMs of all time, as you guys know, as he's running, and after Joker beats the ever-living crap out of Jason Todd to death with a crowbar, he blows up, and that's the cycle. Similar to that, I love Batwoman. Quick correction here. I have to correct myself. If you listen to the Above and Batman Beyond podcast, I've recently been lamenting, and why I'm also excited to get Batwoman, about her treatment. And I said, this is what I'll revoke, across the board, she's being mistreated. She's not being mistreated across the board because I've been reading comics now. And I also shouldn't have made that judgment because I've been reading the comics. But even if I wasn't, point is, she is not being mistreated across the board. It's just that show is terrible, and the Batwoman Beyond of DC Rebirth was atrocious. I could not stand it. So back to this. I'm excited to see Batwoman in another thing. Like she's in Detective right now. Check out Dan Mora's artwork. I am obsessed with Dan Mora. He did covers for Beyond, if you're a Beyond fan, but currently he's on Detective, does the covers, does the interiors. I mean, this guy, it's just like non-politically, if you have a president in mind, it's like, let this guy be president for 20 years. That's Dan Mora on Batman. It's just perfect amount of detail. Anyway, check his stuff out at Dan Mora on Instagram, and he's been doing Batwoman. I've been getting more into that character. I love Batman Bad Blood, as you can see right behind me. To have her, I'm pretty sure that was her introduction into animation, if I'm not mistaken. 2016, went to that premiere. I talk about it a lot because I'm so proud of myself. But that is signed by Batwoman herself, Yvonne Strahovski. So if I'm not mistaken, unless she appeared in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War and got torn apart by Paradoom, spoilers, like everyone did, I think this might be the second appearance of Batwoman in animation, Catwoman Hunted. And Benjamin was there for the world premiere, pretty sure. Unless, of course, you could, at least Kate Kane, the comic-based Batwoman. You could argue, of course, there's Mystery, the Batwoman. Listen, DCAM nerds, I know I stuff once again. Don't make me push up my glasses again. All right, guys, so we're going to start to wind this baby down a little bit with the casting of Catwoman Hunted, baby. Now, not all of these people, Elizabeth Gillies in particular, which is weird because it's Catwoman herself, comes from Dynasty. I don't watch Dynasty, but who knows? She's also from Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. That's the longest, again, annoyingest title. Vacation, I guess that's the new National Lampoon's movie. I don't know, the reboot Ed Helms movie. Kind of weird that, but I haven't seen the movie, so who knows. Stephanie Beatriz, Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the Heights is, I'm guessing, so she plays, Stephanie Beatriz plays Batwoman. So that's who's going to be, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's a comedy. So that's pretty cool. And then In the Heights, people love that movie. That's a real performer. That's some high-class actors that they have for this. And then, speaking of high-class actors, get ready. Also featured Jonathan Banks, Breaking Bad, Mike from Breaking Bad as freaking Black Mask. Are you kidding me? I mean, one of the biggest criticisms of, once again, one of the best DCAMs, arguably the best, which is Under the Red Hood, is kind of Black Mask. He's going, he's dialed up to 13 the entire movie. And it's like, there could still be some calm, scary moments for that character, as messed up and manic as he should be manic. But it's like, he can also be dark and quiet, have that quiet command. And Jonathan Banks is quiet command. So I love that a lot. Something different. Steve Blum from Cowboy Bebop. Love Cowboy Bebop, even though I'm not an anime guy. Let's get to the cast. And then I do want to get back to the, we'll get to that here with, the anime stuff, because I definitely want to touch on that. And then we are out of here. So Steve Blum is Solomon Grundy. Lauren Cohan from The Walking Dead, that's Maggie herself. And Martha herself, literally Martha from Dawn of Justice. That was Martha Wayne. So she's Julia Pennyworth. And then Keith David, they live the thing, Gargoyles, Goliath himself is playing Tobias Whale, which is dope because he's a Black Lightning character. So that's a black character to begin with. So authentic casting there. Keith David, shout out to Community, one of my best. That's Keith David at his comedic best. So good. Zahra Fasal from Young Justice as Talia al Ghul and Nosferatu. And the list goes on. I mean, look at this casting. It's pretty nuts. We're going to get, just to go through the characters in it instead of everyone, Jonathan Frakes, oh my God, I couldn't help myself, from TNG, Star Trek TNG, is King Faraday. We got Barbara Minerva Cheetah. We have Cheshire. We have, just so many people. There's a Yakuza member, because again, this is like the world of crime. And Dr. Shin. Oh, I wonder if this is is that maybe Shin? Sorry if I messed those up. But I was thinking maybe Dr. Shin from the Justice League Throne of Atlantis. Probably not. Different world. Aquaman. Dumb. Cats don't like water. So Catwoman Hunted is directed by Shinsuke Terasawa from Gintama Yokai Watch. Not familiar with theirs, probably because they're anime. And I'm just not an anime guy, so nothing against it, just not my thing. From a script penned by Greg Weisman, this is what excites me, which we'll get to the anime thing right now. From Young Justice and Gargoyles. Producers Ethan Spaulding, Mortal Kombat Legends, Battle of the Realms. Those are awesome. I forgot Ethan Spaulding was producing this. Battle of the Realms and Scorpion's Revenge, the new MK Legends movies, are awesome. Animated, ultra-violent, but really good stories somehow. I couldn't believe. And the sequel, Battle of the Realms, just came out. That review is coming. Had some technical difficulties, but that is coming. Anyway, executive producer, as always, Sam Register produces all these. So yeah, here's the thing. This is why I'm excited, because Greg Weisman on Young Justice. I'm pretty sure he created Young Justice, Greg Weisman, and I'm forgetting the name of the other gentleman. But these guys, Brandon Vietti, who also I'm pretty sure directed, if not wrote, Under the Red Hood. So look, pedigree of animation out the ass DC-wise. What excites me and relieves me, what I keep trying to get to here with anime, again, while anime is not my style, if they do the flip of what they did with Batman Ninja, which is Batman Ninja was anime movie first, happens to be about Batman. That's probably why it wasn't my thing, because I'm not an anime guy. So you had the big barrel monkey ending and giant, I don't know. Some of it I was down with, some of it not. But if they do Batman movie first, anime second, in this case, Catwoman movie first, anime second, I'm in. The other thing that excites me is that it's Catwoman. She is a rich character. Selena Kyle Catwoman, forget it. It's I don't have to sell you on Catwoman. Everyone knows. But the other thing, and I should have said this first before we go, this is probably one of the most important things. Should have mentioned this before, is that what I'm most excited about with this entire slate is that it's diverse. We've always been getting Batman, Superman, Justice League. It was said before that reasons why does Justice League Dark have Batman in it? Why is this movie Teen Titans versus the Justice League? Well, for a bit, they weren't selling the movies if it didn't have those three things entitled Batman, Superman, Justice League. I guess sales started getting better because now they're clearly at least taking a risk in 2022 with, you got Green Lantern, because everyone's like, give us another Lantern movie. You love those Lantern movies. They didn't sell. They tried doing a Wonder Woman movie 2009. Didn't sell until they did Bloodlines in 2019. But my theory is likely they just did that for probably the 10th of 2009. I don't know. Maybe not. All I know is that this isn't even a member of the Trinity. This is a Batman villain. A-list nonetheless. I mean, we all know Catwoman, but it's cool. So Catwoman, Green Lantern, Battle of the Super Sons, and then we have Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls. What is it? Multiverse of Mayhem in the Multiverse. So yeah, those are our 4 DC animated movies for 2022. What do you guys think of the upcoming slate? What do you guys think of Catwoman Hunted? Again, Catwoman Hunted comes in February. We'll go through, actually, real quick. Let's just give you when they come out before we bounce up out of this piece. Catwoman Hunted is in February. We have Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls in the spring. Green Lantern Beware My Power, summer 2022. Battle of the Super Sons in the fall. DC League of Super Pets, set for theaters, May 2022. Again, we have our live Fandome coverage and pod from 2 weeks ago, covering that. And then the DC Showcase Shorts, Constantine, early 2022. Yeah, I got to say, probably the thing I'm most excited about, and this is weird to admit, I probably shouldn't ever admit this, but as a Bat fan, I want to say every movie needs to have Batman in it. Especially, he's like the king of DC. He's, of course, you could argue Superman is, but let's be real, guys, okay? No, I'm just saying, I think Batman should be in everything, but that's biased. To be realistic, a lot of other DC characters deserve to have their spotlight. So Super Sons, I think, is dope for people who, are Robin fans. I mean, there's a ton of people who are way more interested in the character of Robin than they are in Batman. I don't understand what's wrong with them mentally to think, no, I'm just kidding. But I do get it. Like, and people are just straight up Lantern fans. Again, I just don't understand. No, but if you are a sci-fi fan, if you are someone who's into that, you're getting a nice flavor mix next year in 2022. Catwoman Hunted, again, we got the trailer for that coming. I'm not excited for it. And again, I think with Greg Wiseman it is. With Greg Wiseman, okay, this, as you can see on YouTube, it's not agreeing with me here. So let's get back to the script here. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Greg Wiseman is on that relieves me the most. I had totally forgotten about that. I just thought that was going to be a straight up, anime movie. So I was kind of like, here we go again. I wasn't a big fan of Batman Ninja, and even like the CG stuff later with Battle of Super Sons. We'll see about all that. And I'm excited to get the end continuity ones. So there you go. So if you're new here to the channel, please consider subscribing on YouTube. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new content. Hit that like button if you like it. And for the podcast listeners, please subscribe to the pod. Just like the vid series, we are DC Animated Movie Show. You can find the podcast on your favorite podcast app. Please rate us a 5-star review on Apple. It takes just a minute or two, but that minute goes a really long way in helping our show be found by awesome listeners like you on iTunes. And again, to prove how appreciative we are of your reviews, guys, we have this JS World War II, Justice Society World War II exclusive Barry Allen Flash figure. Only 8,000 of these bad boys were made. This one is 2747 out of 8,000. It's the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital code. So add all those to all three collections: toy, movies, and digital collection. Pretty dope. All you have to do to enter to win, write us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, then follow us on Instagram at DC Animated Movie Show. And then you're going to see the details on how you can win limited edition JS World War II Blu-ray and Flash. A lot more DCAMS coverage coming here to the channel on the pod for trailers and behind the scenes from Fandome as well. There's the Catwoman Hunted trailer, which once again I'm going to react to live here on YouTube. Aquaman King of Atlantis, reluctantly still got to cover that. The new Fandome and Justice stuff we got, some behind the scenes on that. Young Justice Phantoms coverage and more. But again, today was our last official Fandome episode since it was nearly 2 weeks ago at this point. Awesome event, though. Once again, loved Fandome. Really happy with it. Overall, don't understand a lot of the complaints, but that's not what we're going to get into. DC Collecticast. Subscribe to our other shows and pods. Here in the channel, we have DC Collecticast, talking action figures and collectibles from the DC universe. And then we have our flagship show, Above and Batman Beyond. DC Collecticast is where you could find our full TV and movie recap from the Dome, as well as our bonus episode breaking down the Flash teaser and the Batman trailer. And then on Above and Batman Beyond, check out my live reaction here on YouTube to the Batman trailer on the day of the Dome, the very giddy live reaction. Follow us on Instagram. We are at DC Animated Movie Show, and follow the YouTube channel as well. We are at Batman Beyond Media. So this has been Benjamin David, and remember, animated, we stand.